Y'all, I'm so done, like so ready to be done telling this story because it's honestly very triggering, and telling it to y'all, it's like I'm reliving it, and I try not to relive it, but you know, I'm so transparent with you guys that it doesn't make any sense for me to keep this part of my life or the things that I went through from y'all. Like, so this is part 3, and hopefully it's the last part. So Munir is laying out on the ground, and he's pretty much covered in blood, and it's a whole lot of cops surrounding him, yellow tape out, pouring raining, a lot just going on. I noticed that he is like he's moaning. He's like he was in a lot of pain, and so that let me knew that he was alive. But in my mind, I'm like, he laying there bleeding out. He can fucking die right here. I'm just like, because I've already been through that 2 times, losing DeMarco, losing Lewis, I'm just sitting there like, fuck. Like, I know this is not happening to me again. Yeah, I went internally inside and I just asked my husband, like, bro, you said you would never, ever send me through this again. God, you said you would never allow me to go through another death, through another loss. You said you will never allow another one of my kids to lose their father. Please save him. And so it seemed like it's taking forever for the ambulance to get there. Like, it actually was taking forever for the ambulance to get there. Like, they're doing so much to him. Like, they're taking skin off of him. They're patching holes up. Like, at the time, nobody knows how many times he was shot. I just noticed, like, them taking skin off of him. And I'm like, why are y'all taking his skin off? Like, they took the skin off his buttocks. I'm like, why are y'all doing that? And so they out there doing that. He stopped moaning. He stopped moving. Like, so I'm just really nervous. I'm really scared. And I'm just like, is he alive? Like, I'm asking them at this point. They like, yes. Like, they keep reassuring me that he is. But I mean, I'm just like in panic mode. So the ambulance finally get there, and they put him on a stretcher and they take him away. And then that's when they proceed with everything else when it came to me. So then, they eventually pull me to the side, and they're like, we're gonna have to get some statements from you. We're gonna have to ask you a few questions. You are not gonna be able to go back in your house tonight. This is considered they didn't say it was a crime scene because it wasn't a crime scene, but they were basically saying, like, whatever sent him outside in rage like that to do what he did, it started inside. And so that was like, they needed to take pictures, they needed to look in the house, they needed to do everything. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, my kids they barely had on clothes. Like, so none of us can get back in the house. My neighbors, thank God for the neighbors that actually fuck with me. And this, where I live at, is only a 6-unit apartment. You feel me? So it's very personal and very small. And all of my neighbors I'm gonna say out of 6, 4 of my neighbors, because 2 of them are elderly women, 4 of my neighbors know Munir. They know him just from him being my boyfriend and pretty much living with me. And his demeanor is very calm. He's a very calm person. Nobody would see that side of him unless they were in his space. And basically, you wouldn't see that side of him if you weren't in a relationship. You know how they say you never know a person till you live with them? It's like that type of energy. So they were just really shocked that everything went down. They did tell me that they heard a lot of what was going on in the house, but yeah, we couldn't go back in the house. My neighbors had my baby and my other 3 kids, while I talked to multiple different police officers and explained to them what happened and what started everything. What I didn't tell y'all in part 1, when he was walking around destroying everything, he kept yelling out, I'm gonna get you put out, I'm gonna get your housing taken away from you. He was just saying all kind of just irrational things. He was like, I'm gonna make them kill me. He's like, you gonna have another dead baby daddy. Like, he was just saying so much shit. And so, it's just a lot of different things going through my head. I'm like, did he shoot at them so they could shoot him? Did he just try to kill himself or what? You feel me? But that was neither here or there. I told them what happened, you know? And then it was another one, and I had to tell another one, and I had to tell another one, then I had to tell another one. Then they finally told me, you cannot go back in your house. Everything started around 10 o'clock. I was outside in the rain talking to officers till almost 4 in the morning. 4 in the motherfucking morning. And still couldn't get back in my house. I don't drive, you guys. I don't drive. So, we didn't even have a way to, like, leave. The police ended up taking me and my kids to my mother's house at 4 in the morning because we could not get back in my house because they needed to take pictures. So I asked them, I'm like, am I about to get kicked out? Am I about to get evicted? Or what's going to go on? Because this took place, you know, here where I stay in my residence. And then that's when they alerted me and told me, like, well, he actually wasn't on the property. And because you called, you initially made the call, the domestic dispute call, you're safe. Like, you're the victim. And they kept reassuring me, like, you're the victim. And as much as I knew, like, oh, this making me so sad, because as much as I knew, like, I was the victim and my kids was the victim, I couldn't even rest in it because he just got himself shot the fuck up. So I went from being the victim to having to jump into, like, a whole energy of just wanting him to survive and worried about him and thinking about him. Like, it's just it's so hard to explain, but I never really been able to just sit with myself and, like, it really happened. Like, sometimes I don't be knowing if it even fucking really happened, and it did really happen, because he doesn't remember. So when I talk to him, he's like, he don't remember shit, so he can't take accountability, like, just so much. So he ended up getting rushed to the hospital out here where we live, and I didn't hear from him. Like, it was one officer, and obviously I couldn't hear from him because he was fucked up. Like, they had to put him in an induced coma because he was losing so much blood, and they needed to work on him while he was asleep in order to really save him. So, and then when he would wake up, he would be just distraught and snatching IVs and shit out of him because he didn't remember what fucking happened. So they kept putting him to sleep. And so for like the first month, all of May, it was one officer that was keeping me informed of what was going on. And they did tell me that he's in custody at this point, so nobody can visit him. Nobody can, you know, he wasn't even supposed to be telling me what he was telling me, but he was letting me know if Munir was doing good one day, if he was not doing good. Like, he was keeping me afloat because he knew my past history of the things that I went through. So I didn't talk to Munir May. I didn't, the rest of May, June, July, August. It wasn't until September that he reached out and finally called me. And when he called me, it's crazy because all them months, you guys, I was in my prayer closet. Like, I'm manifesting, I'm praying, I'm begging my ancestors to, like, just let me hear his voice, because how it works, because I've already lost two important people in my life. None of my kids have fathers but chose him. It's like, because I hadn't talked to him and I couldn't hear his voice, my brain was calculating that as he died, like as he was not here anymore. And so I needed to hear his voice in order to know that he was still here. So he don't understand, between all them months, like, I was suffering, I was sick, I was ill, I was smoking so many fucking cigarettes, like, I was depressed. So when he finally reached out in September, he told me, like, I've been in a hospital this whole time. And so I was confused because when you check inmate locator, it stated that he was in the county jail. So when he informed me that he had been in the hospital the whole time, I was just confused. And so I'm letting him know, like, I've been having all kind of thoughts. I didn't know if he was mad at me, if you were angry at me, if you were blaming me. I didn't know. He's like, no, I wasn't mad at you, and no, I wasn't angry at you, and no, I'm not blaming you. I don't even honestly remember what happened. He was like, I would never ignore you because you got my son. And so the time is running out, you guys. Probably when I make this part 4, we'll be done with the story.